I would like to first thank our amazing host, Captain I.S.U.P.K and his North Carolina team. Some bad boys. I would also like to thank General Hazayan, Captain Zakar, and all the captains that participate. Captain Zakar, who else? General Haz, Captain Mashak Mayan, who else? Captain Kataza, Captain Tahawo, Captain Akara, Captain Shamawa Allah, Captain Yaza, Officer Iraq, and all officers that came together, man, brought this together for us. We so appreciate you, man. Of course, I'd like to thank all the generals for enduring all the persecution it takes to get this done. I want to also thank all the captains and all the camps that have worked so hard to keep this truth going, man. Y'all let them in. Let them in that door. If you got them outside, let them in. Open them doors, man. Let them in. I'd like to thank all of them and all the officers and troopers that work underneath those captains, doing an amazing job in all these cities and all these camps and carrying this truth forward. I want to thank all the amazing sisters of the I.S.U.P.K, man. These sisters are special. I'd like to particularly thank Sister Banaf for taking care of everybody's babies during this weekend. So many sisters participated in many ways to help bring this Passover celebration forward. I won't be that long, y'all. And so we thank them for doing all of these things. As you know, as you've seen, it is very difficult to do this job because of the persecution that we received for doing this job. We wanted to be Christians and drug dealers. Drug dealers are celebrated. I watched a show on HBO last night called Ghost 2 or something like that. Ghost Power. Y'all seen that? It is a textbook class on how to be a drug dealer and how to be a college drug dealer. You in college, how to sell drugs and kill and murder. That's not the life of God's chosen people. You see what's going on in the world. They're going to war. They're about to go to battle. And it was prophesied in the scriptures that they would go to battle. And here we are. Here we are, Russia and China getting ready to go toe-to-toe with America, man. Is that not biblical prophecy? Yes, it is. We're at the end, brothers and sisters. We at the very end, and now has come our time, man. But the persecution continues, which is why they wrote that article in the newspaper. Terrorists, troublemakers, how dare they? We have a written rule in the UPK. No personal attacks when we're on the street. They turn on the camera when the action starts, and they never say to themselves, who started it? They just blame us for it. When we go out on the corner, we don't personally attack anybody. We drop the truth of the Most High. We call out all the evil done by all the heathens around the world. And all's been done to the Lord's chosen people. They decide to engage us and to start back and forth. And then they angry when they get cut by these scriptures, man. Don't you dare call us terrorism. They said, the governor said, yeah, they are. but they got freedom of speech. How dare you, governor? How dare you, sitting in the governor's seat, a seat that was responsible for the death of thousands of slaves. Your predecessors raped, robbed, and murdered the Lord's chosen people. You told us we had freedom of speech, so freedom of speech is what we use, and now we're persecuted for it. We didn't go out and get guns. We didn't blow up nothing. We didn't go hurt or harm anybody. We used the laws you gave us to wake up the lost 12 tribes of Israel, and you hate us for it. You can be whatever you want to be as long as you're not a Jew, as long as you're not a Hebrew, man. Slavery took place in America. Slavery took place in all these different nations that our people are in. Go to the Caribbean, they got relics of slavery down there. Go to Central America, Mexico, South America. All of those tribes were enslaved under this oppressor, man. Either one family or another. They all oppressed us. And now that we turn around and say it's time for us to wake up, now we're the evil one. Colin Kaepernick took a knee and the world turned upside down. How dare you take a knee for black men that are being killed in the streets of America, man? How dare you care for your own people? You know what? This society shuns on us when we love our own. This place hates us for loving our own. Well, we're going to love our own. We're going to care for our own. We're going to build these camps. We're going to bring forth these 12 tribes, man. I'm going to cut it short. You know I get started. I'm going to chill. Y'all can get to that land. But I had to say a few things because they decided to slander us in the media. The reporter called back when I thought put her on, so I had to interview with her. Instead of putting in what I said to her, she went and found a so-called Jewish rabbi. If that ain't racism, I don't know what is. How you gonna interview me and then go get another person to say what we are doing? But I told you what we were doing. I told you who we are. I told you what we do. And you hate us for it. You say you want drugs off the street, but you hate us when we pulling brothers off the street. You say you want crime statics to go down. Hebrew Israelites don't go to prison. They go fix their families, man. I thought that's what they want. We gave them what they want. They said our music was gangster rap. I brought them some Hebrew rappers. They hate them too. Brothers and sisters, you got to learn a lesson today. The lesson you got to learn is how difficult it is to do this job. Because it is a hated profession because of how great it is. And because of how quick it could change your life. Y'all see this old robe I got on? This is an old boy right here. Let me let you take a quick look at this. When I step out, I slide over there. I want y'all to look at this robe. All right, you see this robe right here? This robe comes from my father, man. My mentor, my teacher, chief head priest, I.S.U.P.K. And I'm going to tell you the story again if you haven't heard it. I was a young man, couldn't be no more than about 19. But they loaded me up in a van with chief head priest I.S.U.P.K. and we went down to Brooklyn, man. In Brooklyn, they got an area where the so-called white Jews have a huge synagogue. There's thousands of them in the neighborhood. At that time, it was a beef because a lot of the Judites and Benjamites owned the real estate in Brooklyn for years. And these so-called Jews wanted the real estate. They wanted the neighborhood. If you go down there today, they got the neighborhood and every piece of real estate they wanted. They took it all from blacks and Latinos and West Indians. Well, before they were able to take it, we went to Brooklyn. We went to prophesy on that street. And Chief Ariel, well, I wish I had a copy of it now. Chief Ariel opened up a Life magazine before the world and before them, and it shocked them. He showed them the archaeology that came from Egypt. And he said, how could you be a Jew when the Jews are black? And they got upset, and they called the cops, and they started threatening us. And Ariel stood his ground. He could have went home. He could have packed up the truth. He could have ran, man. But he stood his ground, man. He stood his ground, and he told them the truth about who they were and who we were and what they had done. And when the cops came up to Ariel and they said, listen, man, we know you got a permit to be out here, but we really wish you would go back up because, see, if we leave, we can't guarantee your safety, man. And Ariel said, we speaking the words of the Lord, and we ain't going nowhere. That's what he said. And the officer was trying to, be cool. He said, you don't understand. He said, you see that van over there? The van is filled with guys with machine guns. And if we leave out of here, I can't guarantee you what might happen out here. Ariel said, I don't think you heard me. We speak in the words of the Most High, and we ain't going nowhere. He became my father, and I became his son that day. Because I saw courage in a man, something that I didn't see in the black community, man, in the Latino community, and the Native Indian community. I saw a man that was not afraid to stand up for the truth, no matter who came up against him, man. I saw a man that could persecute or that could persevere in the work of the Lord. When we got back, he could tell I was young and unsure about myself. And I'm looking at him, he eating chicken like nothing ever happened. I'm looking at him like, you know, could have got smoked out there today. You know what I'm saying? He said, Yahanna, let me tell you something. And this is on tape. Now, we're looking for the tape now, right or wrong? We're looking for the tape now. Not at that time, but he said this later on. He told me, he said, Yahanna, don't ever leave the truth. That's right. No matter what. He said, even if I leave the truth, don't ever leave the truth of the Most High power. And you know, he was an excellent teacher. He knew when to say something to you, where it would impact you, where it would become a part of you. I've had this robe from him for 40 years, 40 years old. 40 years. He gave me this robe. He said, Yahanna, see that robe there? Take that robe. Many men wore this robe. They come in there on the Sabbath service because he kept the robe hung up on the rack in the Sabbath service. The room wasn't about big to that pole right there. Those of you that was back then, you know. And he kept it hung up. So when brothers would come in for the Sabbath service to teach, they'd go get his robe, you know, daddy robe, going on, and do the Sabbath service. One day I came in there, right after that incident, he said, Yahanna, put that robe on. He said, that's yours. I said, thank you, sir. We believe we lost that great man this last week, and it broke our heart. It breaks our heart to lose any man, let alone men that have persevered in this truth, who have bonded with us in brotherhood, who have stood the test of time and showed themselves approved to bring forth the words of the Most High. We need warriors, man.